It was a week ago today that ESPN.com published an article based on reporting from Seth Wickersham in his upcoming book. And the subject was Caleb Williams. Carl Williams, for whatever reason, was on the record saying some things about how he and Caleb considered getting away from the Bears, getting to the Vikings, getting around the draft altogether. And these are all concepts I fully support. But the problem is, once they're out there, they create a situation where somebody's got to get a mop and a bucket. And yesterday, at the outset of his comments to the media, without a question, without prompting, Ben Johnson addressed the Caleb Williams situation. Here's what he had to say.
It's come to my attention that the quarterback's been out in the media over the last week. And just to get out in front of that a little bit, I just wanted to say I wasn't here last year, and so I can't speak too much in terms of what it was like before he got here and when he got here last year. But from my 4 months on the job, he's been outstanding to work with, and we just are focusing on getting a little better every day.
When you hear it uttered, as in from the article, from the upcoming book, that Chicago is where quarterbacks go to die. Like, from a distance, did you see that? And what do you think when you hear that?
I love it. I love it. I love the opportunity to come on in and change that narrative. That's where great stories are written. And so we're looking to write a new chapter here, 2025 Chicago Bears, and looking forward to the future.
Now, Caleb Williams wasn't made available yesterday, even though multiple players were. And I think that the sooner he just deals with it, the better off he'll be. Because it's not going to go away.
No.
And if anything, it's going to make the reporters who are frustrated by the lack of access even more intent on asking a pointed question. But, Chris, all he's got to do, and this is a simple PR exercise, and I have absolutely no PR training, but I've learned enough in 25 years on what needs to be said and what doesn't need to be said and how to go about saying it. What Caleb Williams should say is this, and I came up with this yesterday when I wrote the story about Williams not being available to reporters. I explored my options during the draft process like anyone should. I chose to make a commitment to the Bears. I signed a 4-year contract. I am happy to be here, and I'm excited by the hiring of Ben Johnson to coach the team. And any question about it, you say the same thing.
Right. Or you just say,
because
listen,
it's true.
Yes. Oh, right. It's business. It's business in the NFL. You also say it's not personal to the Bears and the Bears fans there, right? It's not that. It's not that you don't want to play here and be a part of the atmosphere. It's just the simple fact of the matter that the Bears haven't had a offensive, awesome football coach ever since I've been alive. I mean, who's the top offensive coach they've had? Mark Trestman, who's never been the main guy really anywhere before that. Matt Nagy, who we all went, wait, well, Andy Reid was kind of the guy. So they've never had that. I don't think it's that crazy to question, do I want to go there as the number one pick where no quarterback has really played well? Offense has not been a thing ever in the last 40 years. Do I want to subject myself to that? We know we hear quarterbacks, they have cold feet all the time. I mean, that's the Joe Burrow, the Bengals, like you've discussed before. I mean, Eli Manning he actually didn't go to the team and said, I don't want to do that and go somewhere else. John Elway, there's been others that have questioned whether they want to be a part of that team. And at the end of the day, he still did it. He's there. He's trying to make it work. And now, thank God for him, he's with the first guy that is literally offensive genius. He's come up with his own offense. This is what it's going to be, and he's all about the quarterback. And thank God for Caleb Williams. He's got Ben Johnson. But, yeah, I think I'm with you, Mike. He needs to come out, say something, just take it head on, deal with a little bit of the blowback, whatever it is there. And I think reasonable minds will realize, like, hey, it wasn't that crazy to have those thoughts in the pre-draft process.
Since Mike Ditka.
Yeah, say it.
Dave Wannstedt, Dick Duran.
Right.
Lovie Smith.
Right. Defense. Right.
Mark Trestman.
Right.
He was there for 2 years.
Right.
John Fox, defense. Nagy, as you said, it's more Reed. Eberflus, defense. That's it. So it's defense with a couple of exceptions that went so badly they said, let's go back to defense.
That's right.
Maybe this is why we go with defensive coaches. Now, all due respect to Nagy and Trestman. Let me say this, though.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, after they explored all their options, Caleb and Carl Williams decided that there was no way to pull this off because it was going to be too much of a backlash to do it. And Chris, I'm convinced that because the draft has become such a bigger deal since the decision to take it on the road, because of social media, and it's so much easier to yell in the face of someone by tweeting at them or Instagram comment or whatever. It's so much easier to experience the blowback. I'm not sure anybody is going to pull the Elway or the Eli. And the last best chance for it to happen could be Arch, because Arch is going to have Peyton and Archie and Eli and his dad if he decides to do it, if he's even good enough. We don't know if he's going to be good enough to be the top pick. But if he is, and if it's a dysfunctional team that's sitting there with the top pick, he may be the last one to do it. But maybe even he won't be able to pull it off. I think, even though you know how I feel about the whole sorting hat thing, I think it's getting harder and harder for a player to make a power play against the draft.
I don't disagree with you there. This ain't 1983 anymore or 2004. Things have changed. You're right about that. And you will have to deal with scrutiny like no other if you make those type of moves. And then, of course, that pressure is going to follow you until you win or can squash that altogether like an Eli Manning or Elway did. But, yeah, I don't expect to see it anytime soon. That's for sure.
What's going to happen is you're going to have, if and when it occurs, you're going to have a very loud segment of the fan base that will hate you forever. And then the rest of them, like, you're not going to be like the champion. Yeah, I'll be the one saying, yeah, but there's not going to be thousands and millions of fans saying, yeah, you stuck it to him. You stuck it to him. No, that's a problem. So you're going to get a lot more hate than you're going to get love. It's just not worth it. It's better to just go to the dysfunctional team and see what happens.
There's some value sometimes if you can have the right coaches there, right, to go, wait, I'd love to be the first great quarterback of that team. I mean, you could sit there and make an argument about like Kansas City, other than a few years with Joe Montana, quarterbacks never were special or did anything there. But then they get Andy Reid and Mahomes, and they make their own history here. And now we view them and the organization totally different. I do think there's value. We see head coaches who like taking those type jobs at times. Quarterbacks, there is value in it as well. But as we know, you just got to make sure you have the right support system in those situations to make yourself successful.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.